Hi, Jan here.
Hello.
I'm looking at this actually. Thought we was on the opposite sides to normal. Are we on the opposite side?
We are, you know. Are we?
But looking at it, it's in the camera.
No, I think quite often you are on my left.
Yeah, but it's weird because we look like we're on the right side there. Anyway, I'll find out when I edit it. Anyway, hello. Jan here.
And Sharon's here.
Sharon's here. Right, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're out in the garden.
Oh, it's such a lovely sunny day.
We've got blue skies and sun, and it's not too hot. And we're sitting around the fire pit.
It is lovely.
So any of you that watch the channel regularly, you know that we've got a fire pit it's not in the middle of the garden actually, it's at one end of the garden, but we very rarely use it, so we thought, right, that's where we'll sit today.
It is just nice to sit on,
yeah,
regardless of whether we've got a pit or not.
It is. And I sat with you are actually sat on the fire pit. We
it's
need
not
to get
on.
No. We need to get a tabletop for it, so for times like this where you can just sit around and use it as a table, really.
Yes,
I think that would be perfect.
Add it to Dunk's list.
Yeah. He's had this week off, and it's been endless jobs he's been doing. I love seeing him getting stuff done.
The garden looks lovely, absolutely lovely.
He's really keeping it trimmed, and at the moment he's actually gone to Banyol the lawn, and he's gone to the forest there to follow a cycle track. This is the second opportunity he's had since he's been off to go out on the bike, which never happens.
That's good.
And it really makes me happy because it's something he likes to do, and he doesn't get to do a lot for himself often, does he? So it's nice to see him do it. But so he might be a bit tired when he gets back, or he might just be energised and he'll be doing even more. I was just saying to Sharon, he's making some concrete pots which you can put lights in, so you can just put them in the flower beds, so that'd be good.
Yeah, lovely.
The wind started, just in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
I should have put my furry things on.
Do you want to put your furry things on?
Right, our microphone's got the fur hats on, hopefully that will help with that.
Like little Cossacks.
So, yeah, exactly. Hopefully you can hear us above the very noisy birds. And someone in the background.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that a tractor or something?
Yeah, sounds like a combine or something, but I don't know what it would be this time of year. Maybe he's turning his soil over. The problems of living in the countryside. I look like I'm in the shade there, but hopefully I'm okay. We've got this huge tree here.
We could move around a bit.
We're going to move a little bit, just round the corner a little bit, to see if it helps.
You're more in the sun now.
Can't win, but anyway, at least it's okay. I'm more in the sun, but yeah. So I won't look at the sun. Probably best not to. So what have we been up to this week?
When did we last record? Did we record
last week? Yeah.
Okay.
Say it's usual stuff for us. Duncan's been doing the garden.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned last time I've been making this backpack for my granddaughter. I'm 99% finished. And again, I don't know when this is going to go out, but I don't really want to put a picture up of it yet in case she's watching. I don't think she does, but just in case.
Does she know you're making it?
Yes. But I'm quite pleased with it. And even if it just hangs in her bedroom and she never uses it, she'll know that she designed it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And for 8 years old, I think she was when she made the little prototype. I think she did really well. She was 8 when she did that. 8 or 9, yeah.
Bloody.
Yeah, because she's the same age as the twins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that mean the twins are 9?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah. Sharon was with me when my daughter April came out with the twins, didn't she?
We went to the hospital.
Yeah, we went to hospital, picked them up. So, yeah.
Oh, good grief.
Just shows you how long we've known each other as well. I know,
it does.
well after that, but yeah. So, or before that, I should say.
I didn't really. In my head, they're about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I know they're not babies anymore, but I haven't moved them on sufficiently.
Don't you find that when you remember someone at a certain age, and then in your head they've never grown up?
No.
And that's always a scary thing, because then it reminds you, oh, that means I've got older as well.
started to happen with my kids as well.
Well, you
I
said
told
the other
them-
day, didn't you?
Yes, I told them how old one of my cousin's kids was, and they were like,
Yeah. Can't be. Yeah.
I said, I wasn't sure because I don't stay in touch with them that well. I said, it was either her 18th or her 21st, and they went, what? She's only about 9. So I'm afraid she's not.
Yeah. No, that's
I don't
life,
think
isn't
Jenny
it?
and Rosie listen. But yeah.
So what else is? Let me just look at, in case there's anything in my diary
Well,
to remind me.
I went to Dieppe.
Yes, on Sunday, didn't you?
Yes. To drop our friend Jackie off. To get a ferry to the UK because her mum's ill. She's out of hospital now, but
Yeah.
it'll still be quite a stressful week for her, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm picking her up again.
That is
this
one thing
Sunday.
that's quite difficult living abroad and so far from your family. And we're quite lucky because we're not really that far away. But if you've got someone moving away from America or Australia, you can imagine how difficult it is then to try and get back. Like Vanessa, there's an interview coming up because I'm going to be doing. You saw Vanessa. She's the Australian lady. One of my first interviews I did.
Yeah.
And we went and had lunch with her to talk about an update video, and she's actually going to let us show around the lovely big house. So, but she has to go all the way back to Australia, obviously, anytime, and she's done that quite a lot in the last year.
Yes.
She had to go back to, I think, was it her mother died, then her father died, and then had to go back for weddings, and it's a lot of time and a lot of money.
Yeah,
I think, how long did she take it? So it takes her from here?
23 hours or something.
So it's a
doesn't
day
it?
to get
Yeah.
back there each time. So it's very tiring.
And it's expensive as well. It's not cheap.
And I see on Facebook the other day, I thought he'd gone for a week, her husband, but it was a long weekend. That's a lot of travelling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're paying the same money, aren't you, to get there and back?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I think if it was me, I'd be wanting to make the most of it, but he probably didn't want to leave Vanessa on her own for too long.
Yeah. Sorry. I was going to say, because I've got Rosie I was talking about and Jenny. Jenny's brother, my cousin, lives in New Zealand. So he doesn't get back as often. Him and his wife don't get back as often as they like to, and I don't see them apart from births, marriages and deaths, to be honest.
Well,
it's sad. But then again, saying that, I don't see his brother either, and he only lives in Norwich.
Yeah.
Just so easy to drift away, isn't it? So easy. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to see what the last week.
It's not Norwich, it's Norfolk.
Just seeing if there's anything on here prompt me with what we've been up to.
I did the Chinese on Saturday. I was trying to think what I did on Saturday.
Well, we got a new one.
Enormous Chinese, Asian food in general, called OCL in Mayenne. And it is huge. And I've missed 2 trips, haven't I?
Yep.
One with Jan and Duncan, Natalie and Leon, and one with Max and Julie when I had that virus. So I was feeling quite left out. I
forgot they'd already been.
Yeah, so Max and I went on Saturday, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it is, it's huge.
Just the amount of food. It's a big restaurant, all right, you go to big restaurants, but it's the amount of food. And I hope it all gets used up and doesn't get wasted. But I was saying you could go there once a month.
Oh yeah,
for a year,
still something different.
Yeah, and not have the same meal.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, we went. we went in February when we came back from Morocco, and it was like a late birthday meal, wasn't it? And you say you couldn't make that
still
one.
Viral.
And
not in a good way.
I didn't get to taste all the desserts because Natalie had arranged that for them to bring me a slice of cake up, and they sang happy birthday to me and all that. So because I had that, I didn't look at the rest of the desserts, which is most unlike me.
Well, just a huge amount of desserts.
Yeah.
And I was quite when I was out, I was too full. I was too full for. You could have had 9 desserts, but I didn't. So all I had dessert-wise was I had mini pancakes, like mini crepes, with caramel ice cream on top, and some chocolate sauce.
I noticed you had quite a bit of seafood on your plate.
I did for the main meal, because you can just go collect the raw ingredients and they'll cook them at the wok.
Yeah,
Not
we
at the
didn't
wok,
do
in a
that.
wok.
That'd be another experience. Yeah.
And I just took seafood and some rice noodles, and it was just so fresh and lovely. Really was lovely.
Yeah. Well, we're going on Monday.
Yes, you are, aren't
Yeah,
you?
our friends are over at their holiday home at the moment, so we're going to go and have lunch at the Chinese with them on Monday.
Lovely.
So that's something to look forward to.
So we did. We had a walk on Wednesday. We had a little walk.
Oh yeah, we had a little walk and I can't
It's
remember where we went. Oh, we're just
a
in
lasso.
Lasso.
Yeah, my back and hip is hurting. There's always something.
Yeah.
So we just had a short walk, didn't we?
Did we do a walk on Monday? We did do a walk.
We didn't, because I was knackered from Sunday.
It's all her fault.
It's
We're
all
not
my
walking.
fault.
It's all her fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this weekend there's a English garden plant thing on in a place called Ran. We've probably mentioned this before. And our friend Julie, she's a potter, and she makes pottery and paintings, and so she's going to be there. We don't generally buy something off her, because if we did that we wouldn't have enough house to fit it all in, but we will be going to look for plants, believe it or not. So we're going there to see if we can find anything exotic to go. We need an exotic plant in the new bed. As you may or may not have yet seen, we've got a new exotic bed. It's the only thing I can call it. So yeah, we'll be doing that. And I don't know what else we're doing over the weekend, but if it's like this, it's going to be lovely.
It is going to be lovely.
So
I'm not sure when it ends. Sorry, doom and gloom, but we've got a week of rain coming.
no, thanks, nice. Well, you know what I'm like. I don't bother looking because it changes so quick.
It does.
So it's, a lot of the time there's no point.
Wednesday afternoon we went to Sue's.
That's it. We had talking about Julie being a potter, did some pottery painting, which was day before yesterday. I can't believe it was that long ago. I can't believe it was that long ago. We went for the meal with Vanessa. That's over a week. Yes, Natalie and Leon's daughter is getting married at the end of May. And I couldn't think really what to get her, because we don't know them that well. I did think about making her a cushion, like a commemorative thing, and then I had a sudden thought about making her a plate or a bowl or something, which sounds a bit, but I wanted to make it as a usable thing rather than just a plate that's going to sit on the side. And it's lucky that she did have a bowl, so it's like it could be used for anything, isn't it? Bread, salad, or whatever they want to put in it. As long as they do use it, that's the thing. You're buying it because you want them to use it, not just look at it.
Yeah.
So it was a bit awkward, being as it was that shape, and trying to get inside it doing the painting.
You did really well.
Didn't do bad. It was a little bit wobbly, and we'll see how it comes out of the oven. That's always the telltale thing.
But that's the charm of it. It's not something that's been mass produced, is it?
No, it'll be obvious it's handmade. It's not come off a factory floor.
No, but
that way.
in a nice way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm quite looking forward to seeing how that's turning out.
I painted a quail.
Yes. I asked Sharon if she wanted to come with me to paint something for herself, just, so company as well.
This afternoon out.
And Sue has a lot of different things to paint in the studio.
Yeah, she makes them from moulds, doesn't she? She pours into moulds. They're not handmade.
No.
Yeah.
If Julie's there, generally you can do sometimes we've used the wheel, haven't we, before? And we've done, what do they call it? What's the other one where it's done with a lump of clay?
Yep, whatever that is.
Yeah, when you can actually make something out of flat clay. We've done that as well. And if you remember in the last podcast, Sharon showed you a little house.
Yes.
That was from that day as well. So
The difference we did, didn't we?
Yeah. So I'd done this plate, and I tried to keep it as simple as I could because I didn't want it to. Then I'll get halfway through it and it'd be a bit daunting. So I thought, and I think sometimes simple.
Yeah, simple's good.
Simple is good. So
yeah.
So that was that this week. Yesterday was chair fit, and then
It was.
she worked us quite hard
She did.
from the bottom down. So my legs were aching a bit last night, but yeah.
Oh, there was someone there who hadn't been for a long time. and she was a couple up from me, and all I could hear was her harumphing. She was struggling.
Yeah.
Because, it does. It really impacts you if you haven't been for a while.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Well, we've been. We were going consistently for a long time, and then we've had lots of things get in
we've
between.
missed a few, haven't we?
We're not going now for a couple of weeks because it's Easter break, and Val that does the class, she's off to Paris for some salsa weekend as well. Yeah, it's annoying when you can't go consistently because you sort of get out of the motivation.
Yeah,
And we don't always feel like we want to go, but we make ourselves go when we can. So it's that was yesterday, and then today obviously we're doing this. No doubt you're going to want to hear what dreams Sharon's had recently.
I've got one quite short one.
Yeah.
Again, I've been doing a lot of admin. I don't know what's going on. I'm just...
Oh, in your dreams,
yeah. Just a lot of
Have
going
you got a
to
lot of
work.
admin to do for yourself anyway? Is that maybe making you dream?
What's making me think
perhaps
of it?
it's more of a nightmare about this admin you've got to do.
Yeah, no, I've just been doing rent arrears and things like that in my dreams. But I did have one recently where a friend invited me to lunch or dinner, I'm not sure. And we knew it was going to be seafood based. This was before I went to the Chinese restaurant. So, but all the seafood was still walking around in the kitchen, literally walking around. And there was a small.
So every seafood had legs, basically.
It was just all walking around.
I don't think all seafood's got legs, though.
No. Or perhaps it was only leg-based seafood. Thinking about that.
Possible, yeah.
But there were little colonies of particular seafoods.
Oh, right, okay.
So I chose these really fat octopuses with tiny little fat legs, and there was a little colony of them in the corner. So she just picked up a few, cooked them for me, but the rest was still there waiting.
Standing doing a little jig in the corner.
We're
We're going to be cooked next.
So I don't know what that was about. Did you ever watch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Very rarely.
Oh, right. Well, there was it was definitely in the books. There's another book called Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Oh, that rings a bell.
Yeah, and in the restaurant at the end of the universe, the animal comes up to you and asks you to pick a bit of it. So he says, "Oh, that's a bit of rump. This is a good rump." So a couple of legs.
I don't know. I've definitely not seen that.
So it's been bred to.
He knows he's been bred to be eaten.
Yeah, but he's really positive about it. He sees it as a good thing.
Mind you, we could do that, couldn't we? Would you like a bit of stomach?
Yes, if someone
take what you like.
Oh dear. There you go.
Funny. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Another one I keep thinking about talking about is like these things where Sharon mentions it quite a lot because her children mention it about us being, are we boomers?
We are boomers.
And I was going to write down a whole list, but it started to get out of hand because there's quite a lot of different ones, isn't there? Different names.
Yes.
And Duncan and I are obviously a diff because he's 10 years younger than me.
He's
so he's
Gen
a
X.
That's it. He's a Gen X, and I'm a boomer. What are you? You a boomer?
Yeah. This is because my middle child, when they give me support on my phone, on my laptop, calls it boomer tech support, and has mentioned putting it on their CV as another skill, boomer tech support. And I don't think I'm that bad. I can use my smartphone and my smart TV, and not so much the laptop.
I don't think,
because I don't use it enough. But apparently I do still require boomer tech support on a regular basis.
Well, I never think I'm that bad, but more often than not I do have to call Dunk because he's but he's because it was such a long time ago that he was like he used to make his own what's he call it, programs, I suppose.
Yes, he used
when
to
he was just a hobby,
and
he understood all this tech talk and computer talk. And up to a certain era, he used to be able to he can build a computer, but it's got to a point now where it's starting to go outside his remit even. He can't.
Yes.
I mean, recently, I think I was saying, I don't know if it's in the last podcast or somewhere, that I'd printed off some PDF patterns. No, I didn't print them off. I downloaded them. And just from doing that, one thing on one of those PDFs put a virus on my computer.
Right, yes.
And it was just doing really stupid things, and Duncan had to go on. He put a malware thing on there, but then putting that on there has caused problems as well, because all of a sudden, I don't know if I said to you, but YouTube, the adverts on YouTube were suddenly being like stuttering.
Oh.
They'd come up when they're supposed to come up, but it stutter, and then it'd go to a black screen and buffer, and then go back to the program, and it comes up saying you have blocked ads. And there's no way I've blocked ads. I wouldn't be blocking ads, because I mean, ads helps me gain money, not necessarily me watching it, but it's the thing you remember, you know, that we need the ads. And it had to come up with this box to say I'm not using an ad blocker, and I did that 3 times, and then it comes up saying, do you want to report the issue, and then it gives you this option to do a screenshot.
Right.
So you click on this button, it does a screenshot of what I'm looking at, which is, I don't know how that helped them, but I just said there's no way that I've put this blocker on, and it wasn't working. And then I went up late last night to watch something while I was cutting some fabric up, and it got better. So I'm assuming that they took my report seriously.
Possibly. Yeah.
But yeah, it just, I think it's the first time I've had a virus as such on my computer, and they're really awful. These people are nasty.
You do feel a little bit invaded.
You do.
It's as if someone's, tried the lock on your front door but not got in.
Yeah. I mean it's the same with like we always say, like we'll be talking about something now, because our phones are sitting here, they're listening to us. We'll talk about something, and I mean, there was a stupid thing we were talking. I always remember we were talking about something you're not talking about all the time. A neighbour had died or something, and we were talking about the funeral, and all of a sudden I was getting funeral ads up on my phone. I mean, it's just so intrusive.
Yes.
And I just don't get it. I mean, the thing is, though, is the other side of it is, it works quite well that they do listen, because sometimes they can come up with something. You think, oh, I hadn't thought that.
Yeah.
So you can't win, but something needs to be done to stop them doing it so much, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
We kind of wandered off from boomers there. But
we did a bit. I don't know how that happened.
Because we were talking about tech support.
Yeah. But but going back to the boomer bit, I mean, where has that come from? Is it just to mark... Because they didn't have it years back, did they?
It started as baby boomers, which are... After the Second World War, there was an obvious boom in the number of babies born.
Yes, right, yes.
Because men were coming back from the war, sense of positivity. So yes, there's a big baby boom.
I'm listening, it's just I'm looking for the list.
Yeah, baby boom from, late 40s. And I think we're towards the end of the baby boomers. I think baby boomers probably ended a couple of years after I was born. And then...
Well, I've got it here. You've got Gen Z.
Yes.
And that was 1997 to 2012. So that's my grandchildren.
Yeah.
Millennials, 1981 to 1996.
Yeah, so my kids are millennials.
And so are mine. Oh, except for one, actually. That's a good point, actually. So she'll be like Emma. She's my eldest. She was born in 79, so she's just outside. She's Gen X probably, which is the same as Dunk's, which seems really bizarre.
Yeah, because
that's 1965 to 1980. So Duncan's a Gen X and we're boomers.
It started again, so it's Gen Alpha now.
Oh, that might be on here.
Yeah, which is the new one.
Yeah.
It's only rough, isn't it? So
yeah.
Like I said, I'm only just a baby boomer, a boomer. Yeah, I'm a late boomer.
Oh, and one they call...
I'm so much younger than Jan. No, I think a lot of these are retrospective. I think it probably started with the baby boomers, because that was a well-known...
Yeah.
phenomenon after the Second World War.
Yeah.
And then it got, I think somebody said, okay, boomer, as an insult, and then it became boomers. And I think the other generations have been added on since. Yeah.
There's that one you said about Generation Alpha. I'm just trying to find
which
it.
is the new one, which is the current one, I think.
Yes, those born between 2010 and 2024.
Yeah.
And Zennials is another one.
Oh, Zennials.
Yeah.
So are they after
I'm
millennials?
just trying to see if it's on.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a plane going over. Just says it is a portmanteau blending the words Gen X and millennials to describe a micro generation or crossover generation.
So that must be in between the two.
It's all far too scientific for me.
We know we're boomers.
We know we're boomers, that's all we need to know.
And we know that limits us definitely in the tech department.
Yeah.
There was something a little while ago, and I told all my kids, and they were horrified, that they're all older than Google.
I know.
How scary is that?
I know. Well, obviously we're definitely older than Google, but at the same time,
But
you
for
almost
them-
can't remember pre-Google
No.
code, can we?
And when did Google become a doing word? Is that what's a doing word? Is that a verb or an adjective? I'm not very
Adjective.
good with these. Anyway, to Google something, become a thing.
Yeah.
Because
And we just
Google
say
was
it-
one of many search engines, and now we.
But we only ever say Google, don't
Yeah,
we? I
we
don't.
do.
It's like there's other. Was it Fox? Firefox?
That's
You
an
never say I'm
internet.
Firefox. Oh, that's not the same. So this is where I get lost.
Yeah. Google as a search engine, so there was.
I thought
Arch
Firefox was.
Jeeves.
What's that then?
That was an internet provider, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yahoo.
That was a search engine
Oh, there you go.
and an internet provider.
So how often do we Yahoo something?
We don't, do
No.
we?
It's always Google.
And Bing
Yeah.
was there for a while.
I'd like to. I've never heard of anybody else using any of those. They probably do, but that's weird, isn't it? So I'll have to
think-
search Bing for that. We'd never,
Yeah, we
it just
don't say
hear-
search, do we, anymore? We don't say I'll search Google for that.
No, we
We
just
just
say
say,
we'll Google it.
We'll
Yeah.
Google that.
And
So
we do
it's-
very often.
Yeah.
as
so
you know.
To Google has become a
Yeah.
doing word.
The sun is really hot on my legs.
That's quite
Anyway,
warm
we
on
may be
ours. I
outside.
have SP30 on my face.
Have you? Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Well, no, only because my moisturiser has it on. I haven't got anything.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I think mine's got some in it, but I don't know how much.
Mm.
But as I say, we may be outside, but we did not forget the jug.
Never forgets the jug.
So let's have a. I remember Renee. She's keep hitting my mic.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times.
She said she loves the Nosey Jug.
I think that
Can you
means
give us that
Renee
little.
is just nosy.
She's just nosy, same as we are. That's right. Yeah.
Can I give my friend Judith a mention?
You can give your friend
Because-
Judith a mention.
Hi Judith, I didn't even know that you were watching and listening to us.
And I was
until-
obviously well pleased.
I don't know if you're subscribed. Subscribe if you're not. But Judith and I went to uni together, and we kind of bonded because we grew up very close to each other, although we went to different schools. So we've known each other since 1980,
Yeah.
which is 45 years.
Uh,
Which is horrible to say out loud.
Yeah.
But yes, I was really pleased that Judith was listening to us.
just thank you, Judith.
Yes, thank you, Judith.
Also, while on that subject, obviously anybody watching, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps me and the channel. And any comments, please comment. And if you do comment, I will mention your name, because I mean lots of people that comment have always commented and have been mentioned at some time or another.
Yes, yeah.
So please do comment, and you'll get your name on film. Right. Have you ever made a prank call?
I don't think I have personally, but we had this thing on Friday afternoons when I worked for a South London council. Anybody who worked for local councils or municipalities,
Yeah.
is that right? Have
I'm
I
just
said-
testing the camera's not too hot. It's getting hot.
It's getting hot. In the 80s and 90s, we weren't overworked. We did our jobs, and our jobs were sometimes difficult because for us we worked on a very what would you called a rough estate. But we very rarely worked on a Friday afternoon.
It was just a thing back then, though, wasn't it? You'd often go off to the pub or something. Yeah.
Yes, you'd go off to the pub and drink alcohol. I mean, that sounds... If I said that to my kids now, that on a lunchtime we would go to the pub for at least a couple of hours and drink alcohol, I think they'd be gobsmacked.
Yeah. But then we used to think that when we came here, when we found the workers would go to the restaurant and drink, didn't we? So, yeah.
And there was always a rule that all the time your manager was still in the pub, you could stay in the pub.
Yeah.
So, you kept your eye on the boss. Yeah. The boss was still there, you were still there.
Just looking across the pub, I was still there, we were all right.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, as part of that, there was a group of us who were housing officers, so we looked after council tenants, and someone who worked with us at the time made excellent prank calls. She had a very good American accent, and she would it was normally friends of another friend, John. I shouldn't think you're listening, John. Do you know where you are? Still got you on Facebook. John would provide someone for Angela to then make these prank calls. And some of them were quite cruel, because John would have a friend who was trying to get into the fashion industry. So Angela would phone, pretend to be an American who was interested in their brand and things like that. And these people would get excited. And then she would go, cruel, suckers! And hang up at the end. It was quite cruel. But I sat there and listened to them and laughed.
And you're obviously a lot younger then, and it just...
We were in our 20s.
You don't always think about your consequences and things then, do you?
No, we were in our 20s. Yeah. And it was Friday afternoon. But I wouldn't have had the guts to do that. And I don't think I'd want to close friends, to be honest. Yeah,
I'll always laugh at other people, but cringe sometimes when I see it happening.
Yes.
But it's not the sort of thing I would do. If my camera overheats, then I'll have to
go in for
turn
lunch.
it off. And we're supposed to be going to try and do some sewing again this week, because it wasn't very successful last week.
No, we're not sure if it's my machine.
Sorry, I'm sure the pollen's getting to me already now.
We don't know if it's my machine, the fabric, or my ability. So we thought we'd try it on Jane's machine.
Try my machine today.
Might not happen today.
But we don't know your machine very well. Even you don't know
I
your
don't
machine
know my
very
machine
well.
very well,
So,
because it used to belong to me. And I don't have any instructions with it or anything. But what were you afraid of as a child?
Guess what? Wars and dying and everything, and that's never left me.
Still afraid.
Yeah, it's never left me. No. What about you?
Were you afraid you'd get involved in it? Or just afraid of hearing about it?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to walk around the street thinking something's going to fall on me, I was just...
Really?
I was to be petrified. I don't know why my brain was going there, but...
Do you think your parents... not helped that, but maybe they talked about the war or something?
Sharon
like that.
loves a disaster. She loves to read about disasters and all that. I don't really even like watching disaster movies.
Jan never watches the news.
I never watch the news.
Doesn't know what's going on in the world.
So I'm in my bubble. That's all I need to know. Unless it's really I need to know, I'll find out. But things like living in London like we were, and I always remember they were saying about when the Thames barrier went up. And they were saying about in so many years it's likely to flood, and it never did, but all that time,
yes,
every time it rained I was worried it was going to flood. I was honestly, it was a nightmare.
The Thames barrier was literally a barrier that could be raised to block off the Thames, which is a tidal river in London. Most people probably know that, but we were on the wrong side of it, weren't we?
We were really, but I mean, even now, my
side.
son lives on the edge of it in Eltham. He lives on the edge of it, and my daughter lived down in Erith, that was right on the river. And even when we lived there, and I was every time it rained, don't stop raining, because I don't want to flood. And it's just me, my brain. I can't handle disasters and things. So yes, that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
And obviously dying in that disaster. But what about you?
See, I wasn't afraid of big things like that. I was quite an anxious child. So I was afraid of things I was doing, and I think I still suffer from that, in that I was always afraid of doing something wrong or upsetting people.
Yeah, you are still like that.
I am still like that. So yeah, a bit of a people pleaser, but disasters didn't worry me in the same way.
We are
Strange,
opposite in so many ways, but somewhere along the line it works, doesn't it?
I was going to say, I think that's why we get on. If we, you know, I've got other friends. Other friends. We're quite similar, and that's a different vibe, isn't it? But I think we work because we're opposites in a lot of ways.
She doesn't listen to me though when I say don't tell me about a disaster.
Jan, you have no idea how many disasters I don't tell you about. They happen daily. I bet you've got no idea what's gone on this week.
No, shush. No, sometimes I find it because accidentally I find it.
Yes.
I've recently come off of Facebook because to me that was always my happy place. And I go on there, and same with Instagram, I'll go on there and get caught up in reels, and because they makes me laugh. Even during COVID, I started a Only Smiles and Laughter group because people can share. It wasn't just for jokes, it was for people to share their happy moments and stuff like that, which I don't do very often, sadly, but they do share jokes a lot, and loved it. But it started to get to the point where, like anything, like it's probably Meta, where things are creeping in and they'll just in the middle of the page put a news bulletin. I think that is not what I want, and people talking about politics and everything on there. So no, I've had enough. So I've left it.
I
only peek occasionally because obviously Duncan's work.
He gets messages. I came off Twitter when Elon Musk bought it. I know we're talking politics. Hate the man.
I don't know enough about it, but no, he's not good.
Well, a lot of people think he's
good.
But
a lot of people recently have decided to leave Facebook.
Yes,
because of him.
And Facebook is owned by Meta, which is the other guy, but he owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp.
Oh, WhatsApp as well?
Yes.
Same as Facebook?
And Instagram.
Oh, God, you don't stand a chance, do you, really?
No.
Yeah.
So I stay on Facebook because I've got friends on Facebook that I'm not friends with anywhere else. So a lot of people I've worked with in the past.
Same here. That's why I tried to get them to contact me on WhatsApp.
But some of it's quite toxic, and I hate it. I joined a couple of groups, and I don't mind the news. I'm happy with, quite like a disaster, as you said. There was one last night I got quite involved in. On Facebook, I joined a couple of groups about growing up in southeast London, which is where I grew up, very close by. And it was lots of old photos of the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, I joined it, didn't I?
Absolutely loved it. Kept looking out for myself in a couple of them. But then a load of racism started, and I've had to come off with a couple of those because there's people going, oh, well, it's not like that now because of these people, those people. And I think,
they use these as a platform to come on and just air their views and everything, and I'd say it's supposed to be a happy place. It's just it's just nasty. Don't like what they're doing with
even
it.
If I could give up other social media, I couldn't give up WhatsApp because that's my main contact for my close friends and my kids.
Well, that's the same with me. And the thing is with WhatsApp, I mean, touch wood, at the moment you don't get adverts and things. It's just it is just chat. Sorry if I keep hitting this. Have you gone off? Oh. Right, change of scenery. We've had to come back in because the camera was overheating. It's still a little bit warm, so hopefully it will be enough for us to at least finish the podcast. So, we were talking about, I don't know where we were with the... we were talking about...
I was having a bit of a rant.
Yeah, you said you wouldn't be able to leave WhatsApp, wasn't you?
Yes.
So,
I've remembered now who owns Meta, which is Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg, right.
Yeah, he owns Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp. And I was saying I could come off social media, but I couldn't do without WhatsApp.
I'm the same. It is one of our main contacts. I say I would just I have about 4 groups that I was admin for on Facebook. 2 of those I actually started. Actually, no, I started 4. 5. I started 5 on there, but Two of them were on my own pages. One was for next door, which doesn't seem to get anybody looking at it. Same with my creation channel. That doesn't really get looked at either. So, and it's quite hard juggling all of that and YouTube anyway. But yeah, I just found other people that were willing to be admin on the groups that get the most traffic, as it were. But I do go on. I came off, so I've taken the Facebook widget off the screen, so it doesn't tempt me to look.
Right, that's interesting.
So, but what I do is I click on Messenger, and then there's a little F in the corner. So if I need to go back in, I go in like the back door. And but because that's mainly because Duncan's got a page on there for work, and he doesn't use Facebook, so I have to go on and just check he hasn't got any messages and things. So yeah, but otherwise, can't say I've missed it that much. I like Instagram as well. That's another one, but again, a lot of advertising, but it's sort of done. Feels like it's done differently. I only have advertised. Obviously, if we've got a video or podcast coming up, and I remember, I'll put a thing on there. But otherwise, I don't put a lot up. I mean, you went for about a year without hardly putting any pictures up, did you?
Yeah,
and
so
and we've sort of.
Yeah, I've been trying to do on Instagram picture a day, but it's more for mine and I don't know, my very close followers' entertainment, because I think the picture with the highest traffic has only got 19 likes on it. I'm not doing it for the.
See, that's why I'm not very good like that. I don't necessarily, unless it suddenly come up and says you've had a million views, I don't tend to look, because I think, well, you feel like I do quite often, feel like I'm wasting my time, but I don't, so I try not to look.
No, I don't take much notice of that. It's just a bit of a. It'd be good to do a picture a year for a year, and then look back.
Picture a day for a year.
Yes, that makes more sense.
Yes.
Picture a day for a year, and then look back on your year, and then you see your seasons change, and it's been quite fun.
It's funny saying about that as well, because I've seen this particular episode before. I was watching A&E in bed last night, and this bloke come in with a really bright coloured beard. He dyes his beard every 2 weeks, and this particular one was really bright green, and he managed to hit his head on something and had this gash, and he filmed after it with it dripping, and he's like, oh, because it's really hurting. He said it was good. It's good content. And then when the nurse is stitching it up, he films it again. And I think, see, I can't be bothered. I feel embarrassed doing some of the videos. It's weird, really. But anyway, next question.
What is your morning routine?
Oh dear, that's unfortunately, I feel like, like a bit deja vu-ish some mornings. So I'll get out of bed.
About what time?
It's nearly always, my alarm goes off 8:30, unless I've got something else going on. Weekends it doesn't. Monday to Friday I've got an alarm that gets me up at 8:30. Then I find myself still getting up near to that anyway at the weekend, because you get into your body clock, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then it's a funny routine, but just because I can't sit around down here without any knickers on. I've got my drawers next to me with my drawers in.
Her drawers.
I'll wake up, put some knickers on, get up, and I'll pick my phone up, put that on the side. It's the same every day. Pick the cushions off that go on the bed, up off the floor, open the curtains. I've said this before as well, and I kick my knickers to the door. Because they're usually on the floor where I've just taken everything off that night. So I've kicked them over to the door, because then I'm going to pick them up and put them in the washing bin. And then I obviously go to the toilet, possibly, come down here, go straight to the coffee machine.
Have you made your bed
make myself
already?
a coffee. I don't do my bed until I go back and get dressed.
Oh, I don't make my bed. Horrifies Jan.
Yep, no, I mean, sometimes I think, now, Jan, just go to chair fit, do the bed when you come back. And I physically cannot leave the room without making the bed. So then sometimes it makes me late, but I have to do it. It's just peace of mind, going out with a bit of peace of mind. So anyway, so
right, so we're now downstairs.
What about your routine?
We haven't finished yet, Jan.
Haven't we?
No, because you've come downstairs, knickers on.
Yeah, okay. I've made I've got to make my coffee.
Made
Then
coffee.
I sit down, pick up my phone. Well, obviously, I say good morning to Duncan.
Is he still in the house at this stage?
He's usually here at first, yeah. Then it depends on where he's working, whether he leaves. But then I'll sit there for an hour, maybe 2 hours, just doing the games. As we told you before, we do our morning games.
We do.
And then at some point, I'd go upstairs, get dressed, and make the beds. And then every day's different after that. So,
Interesting.
What about you?
I get up somewhere between 8:30 and 9. No, my alarm quite often goes off at 8:30. Sometimes it's nearer 9 by the time I'm out my bed. I find I need a good hour and a half in the mornings.
What, after the alarm?
To get up? No, not to get up. I mean to get out the door.
Oh.
So if we're meeting at 10:30,
yeah.
I don't want to get up any later than 9. So I can't do it. So I get up, I go downstairs. I won't have put any knickers on, but I will be in gym jams. Where Jan's
that's different, yeah.
Jan's a nighty woman.
Yeah.
If it's cold, I'll put my snoody on as well, and I go downstairs, feed the cats. So it will either be let Marco in if he's been out all night or he's already there, feed the cats. Then I have a coffee, usually I'm listening to a podcast and start the games. I can't start the games until I've had one coffee because it's usually disaster. I think, why have I tried to do the Wordle before I finish my first coffee? I'll quite often have my breakfast with my second coffee.
Yeah, I don't have breakfast, so it's not...
Yes,
yeah.
And then I do my dirty jobs.
Dirty jobs,
Dirty jobs, which in the winter is sort out the log burner.
Oh, right.
So it's clean to use the following night, that night. And all year round, it's empty the litter boxes. 2 cats.
I'm glad I don't have that job.
3 litter boxes at the moment. So I do that, and then I go for a shower, get dressed, do my hair, clean my teeth, all that business. I do not make my bed.
And I don't shower every day.
I tend to go like that, actually, because I go like that because I sleep on my left. And that's how it is when I go to bed the following night, and I just go like that.
See, that makes me cringe at the thought of it. Isn't it funny?
No one goes in my bedroom.
No one goes in mine. But I like to know that I've flattened everything out, tidied everything. It just feels good to get into a made bed.
It does not. It makes no difference whatsoever.
But yeah, every day after my coffee and after I've made the beds is different. So
yes, depending on what we're doing.
I don't have cats litter trays to...
Oh, I have to feed Jackie as well. That's a moving feast, really. Because if I'm going out, say we're going to Chairfit at 10:30, then I will tend to feed her on my way out. Yeah.
Right. Are you proud of yourself?
Depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm disappointed in myself. Other times I'm proud. I think I have to force myself to be proud.
Why?
Because my automatic setting would be to go, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that?
Yeah, your conscience plays that you... I'm the same.
So I kind of have to force myself to go, look at what you've achieved.
Yeah, that is it, because you so easily forget, don't you? You always, like everything, you always seem to remember the negative bits.
Yeah.
Which might not be negative to anybody else, but they are to you.
Yes, exactly.
But I do have to remind myself that I feel I've dealt with a lot of bad things quite well. That's when I'm proud of myself. But then, there are times when I'm not so proud, when I feel I've maybe not contacted my children enough or something like that. But just you get caught up in life and time just goes. And they're all going about their lives anyway, but... Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so it'll depend on my mood. But when I am feeling proud, I'm proud the way my kids turned out.
Oh God, definitely. I'm always proud of that.
Some days I doubt how much influence I've had on that. It's almost despite me. Not to spite me, despite me.
No, yeah.
And then people say, oh, you were so brave. People sound brave a lot, don't they? Coming to France on your own. And
Yeah.
I'm proud of the life I've made here and the fact that I have made a life here. And although I have to look back a long way now, I was proud at one stage as to how far I got in my career as well. And I'm still, apart from my own children, but I think I'm still the only person in my family to go to university as well.
Oh, well, that's something, to be proud of. We never did.
Yeah,
I think I'm with myself. Even though it's not a nice thing, I'm proud of how I dealt with leaving my first husband, but then the other side of that is I'm not proud of the fact that I had to leave my children behind, but because he wouldn't leave, so I had to leave.
Well,
then
you left them where you thought they were.
Oh yeah, they weren't
safe.
left on their own.
No, where you thought they were safest and looked after.
Yeah,
and it was only temporary, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was only temporary. Then, but then when you think about it, I left the house with 2 black sacks, walking up and in tears, but I dealt with that, and I was very lucky I had lots of people to help me and put me up and all this stuff. And because then the next big thing was moving here, and that to a point, I suppose you say I'm proud of myself because I've gone for it and just done it. But it wasn't hard because we because we knew we wanted to do it. Then the cancer, the breast cancer thing,
definitely.
Where I thought something like that I would crumble because I'm always worried about dying and all this sort of stuff. That seemed to, but I think that's just because the staff and the hospital and everything here is so good that it helped me deal with it as well, and friends and everybody around me.
You were very positive, Jan. You were very positive.
Well, I still try to be, but it gets...
No, I meant about the cancer in
particular.
I know,
yeah, but I still, even now, because you're still dealing with the treatment and all that stuff.
Yes,
but
yeah,
I do still, because I'm near it. Next July, I stop the pills, and that's because when you stop the treatment, you start worrying. But at the same time, they say once you've had the pill of that amount of time, it's still in your system for probably the same amount of time still. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm very proud of my kids. They've all done really well, and and my grandchildren even, they're doing really well. They're all very clever as well, I think. So we'll have one more, then we'll have to finish because it looks like the battery's going to go now.
I've been past that one just because we've said that before.
Duncan's going to probably walk in while answering this one.
Do you sing in the shower?
Sure, I think I've done it once, but then I realised how stupid I sound, and it's just like someone standing there watching you, isn't it? Don't be so stupid, Jen. But I suppose overall you say no.
See,
I've hummed.
I do.
Not sing, but I hummed. But I hate showering. I just want to get in and get out, so there's not enough time for singing. You make up songs. Yeah, but it's like when we've said we make up songs sometimes when you're doing things, don't you? You sort of hum and sing along while you're doing something. Yeah. So.
But I have an awful voice.
I must admit, I don't think I've really ever heard your voice. So
well, you don't want
because you don't want me to.
No one wants to.
I was talking about that. It's not the shower, but I was in the car and Backstreet Boys come on. I was singing at the top of my voice and I thought I sounded bloody brilliant.
A friend of ours has just joined a choir, haven't they?
Yeah.
And she said to me a couple of times...
Told you he'd come in when we were doing
Hi, Dunk. She said to me a couple of times, oh, why don't you come along?
Yeah.
I cannot. It would be an awful idea.
Yeah, I was tempted, but then I thought, no, I need sewing time. Yeah.
Sewing time, yeah. No, singing's not a good one.
No. Do you sing in the shower?
Yes, no.
Anyway, I'm going to go now because I can see the red line on my battery's about to just cut us off anyway. So, bye.
Did we do that in sequence then?
I think we did. How about that? Do I get a word?